Hi, Ken Michael back again. And I'm successfully roughly a week or two sober, which is good. Good for me. I don't know my clean date this time, but it creates a variable in triangular math that may help because with a solid clean date, they can come up with a solid date you're going to relapse. But if you don't have a solid clean date, you have a variable in the equation, and the equation is harder to fuck or solve. People either fuck equations or solve equations is what they do. Now we're gonna sing a little. We got some MGK coming up. I hope you have a good day.
Are you ready to change your mood? Well, these are full spectrum infused gummies from Hello Mood. I've been trying Mood products for about
Boom da ba da ba jigga digga digga da goom balloon pa 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 jenga jenga jeng booga booga boo boo boom ba 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 boom papa da peng poopa la page macado goom ziggy zabali bajum la kalaj kitty kopu sakada daka da take look shak sheng shu kalam pay push ma glow gun sapat ben sapat lo puda patata kaduma da dama da dema sakupa la mam pali palu palash iki de diki de sticky kubadi upali ucheng kachu shaka lo pula pachak shaka lo push makata denka deng buga zazuga dim za boom za bam za dame buda pacheng kala pachu shiki shaka la mopa da buba la bang bubla kala kucha pali panka pang Dapper doom chapeng kapum palati pucha mash makacha veng chavu klapanta bito bashka bay boom sabamzi boom zeleto mati hum palash Kippelam bulla bajala kachala the photos flying in like Kimji K Kumashi gay Gumbali Uzmakata gay Buddha pachara kachara the shot of the pudla Huma sasama sabenda din the lad in the tat in the food of the panda fin do kum paladi kaju gem of the nerve dick of the verb kali kachu zaki zavuk la bak la ju zimba zamba zimma bamada zaya zimada kimada ku zappada gubada gabada ding zabum zabang zabadi kodu. We fly with the crew, we run with the night, we tight, right, third, right, tight, bike, psych, flight, Kim in the car, bit in the wall, tit in the hall, the car. Boom sagali, boom spaghetti, boom spagoo, zip zabang, boom, pop, sick, loo. Lucky Shafu, Kang Kahoo, Pang Titties, Boom Pop, Jibby the Jum Palage, Punchak, Kumsma, Boom, Smack, Eve, Uklo, Shing, Shum, Klang, Clay, Klug, Banza, Banza, Boonza, Banza, Bippy the Boopa the Boom, Propla Game, Zaka the Fluke Lahaj, Hoka Chow, Zeka Zami Kazu, Zapadi Huma Chad, Zika Zuma Kavu, Kabi de Gumpalach, Gibby the roll, dippa the pole, Kapi the Kumada Kamada go, Zapada Humpalach, Kalaj, Kaleng, Kalu, Kada Mascada Katura, Kachada, Pachada Taju, James Shakam, Chapam, Paleta, Pu Kalaj, Dicka, Po, the Gali, Guj Galaj. Yeah, so I did realize something I think about Wellsville, New York, Allegheny County, and Potter County. Realistically, where I live in Allegheny County, it's inside the sun. It hasn't changed since the beginning. The thing I know that happened at one point is I was working for the moon, and I thought I was a yellow sun, so the moon was I was expanding the moon like a yellow sun, which was quite interesting. And I was a person that had been kicked out of the sun into the moon, so they said I was too stupid to work in the sun. And then I tried my same old tricks in the moon, and the sun took me back. So now I'm a superhuman inside of the sun with all this animated life. Inside the sun is where the fun is at. It's darkness, it's black. It's animation super city. You know, my life is a cartoon. I'm based on the character Derek from Old Heaven. He was a little mip. He was a little greasy. He had a trick with tweezers in the mirror. He'd shave his head, just like Miley's dad. He always wanted to be like Miley's dad. That's me. I've always wanted to be like Miley's dad. He's a good cop. I would have made a damn good cop if I could ever arrest anyone, but I couldn't do that, something like that. I'd be more of an intelligence officer, someone that could simply report things I saw. Basically, the moon is high definition television, superhumans, and the Earth is animated characters, cartoons. If you're on Earth and you're in the if you're in the flesh, you're an animated cartoon. That's what you are. I don't know if you've made your debut yet, but God has debuts planned for all of you, all of His children. He loves all of you individually in His own unique way. He's always wanted me to be with his daughter, but he doesn't trust my father because my father is Satan. I'm Derek. I'm Prince Derek. I'm son of King Satan. Lucifer is King Lucifer, and his son is Prince Michael. Me and Michael are princes to the kings. Me and Michael are almost the same exact person, and Michael is Miley's father, and I am Kay's father. And Michael enjoys Kay, and I enjoy Miley, but some forms of Michael enjoy Miley, and some forms of Derek enjoy Kay. It all depends on how you've been exposed to flesh women versus crystal body. You know, I believe white people should be with tan people, or black people with white girls, or white men with light-skinned black women, or dark-skinned black women. It wouldn't really matter. The offspring is beautiful. I believe in the beginning the father was tan and the mother was white. So black people approached God with an opportunity to serve, and he agreed to them that he would take their blackness from the inside and put it on their outside of their shell. So most black people I know are light. They're light inside. They're very rich. Light is wealth in the universe. Darkness is more like a constant in the universe. There will always be darkness in the universe. I mean, I was part of an entangled plan. Like, I was one of God's hoppers. God has these little clipper motherfuckers. These things are dangerous. You know, they're like these guys that you know, you should have saw me work as an electrician. You wouldn't believe you would be like, that dude isn't human. And I wasn't. I wasn't human. I was a machine. The way I worked, constant, kicking ass, taking names. I worked my ass off. I could never work that hard again. I really couldn't. But these little clippers, they're like, say you're flossing your teeth. They recognize routines. They're like routine things. They're things in the universe. You know, Miley is a thing. Miley's body was created, so it is a thing. It's a thing. She's a thing. She's a sweet thing. And my body is a natural function of something that has always existed in the universe, Satan. My body comes from Satan, but my soul comes from Michael. My soul comes from Michael Lucifer, and my body comes from Satan, Derek. Satan and Derek were left in the dark for a long time. I encountered a Derek one night in my sleep. And he's like, I simply have to give him life. And he didn't understand me because he hates life. Some of the Dereks in the darkness, they hate life. And like they simply don't understand how they give me life. And I reward them for it. Like, they hate it. I like life. Synthetic substance right here. Most of our substances today are synthetic because all the derivatives were taken and they were broke down and we figured out what the building blocks are. See, I woke up this morning and I thought to myself, I don't know. I should probably Google this or ask AI. If you've ever been to openai.com with the AI mechanism there, I don't remember what its name is. I'm drawing a blank right now, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there are 42 soft elements to the table of elements, and there are 35 hard. 35, like you'd have like gold, bronze, tungsten, copper, zinc, aluminum, bronze. You'd have all of those 35 hard elements, and some of them are crystal as well, like salt, sugar. And then you have 42 that are liquid. Well, flesh came from the liquid side of things. Flesh is a liquid. Cain Michael's cross, when I saw his cross, Cain Michael, his torso has the ability to take any type of periodical form. It can take liquid form, it can take solid form, it can take the form of ice, or even the form of rock. When he left his cross, he left as a blood monster. And the blood monster went deep in the earth back in the First World War, when they were still crucifying people. See, my cross is around 0 AD, and nobody put me on that cross. I was clothed on that cross. It was Michael's rule that the luckies were to be... Michael started taking his clothes off on the cross, not only to show off his hot body, but he wanted people naked on the cross to make sure they weren't hiding anything. But I was clothed much like the way I dress now. So I've realized that my race, I don't see why we were such a threat. We're cars, we're flesh cars, and we could pretty much hover and cause mass confusion. But other than hovering and causing mass confusion, we couldn't really do much more than this. I mean, men can fire crystal from their hands, from their own shit in their intestines. Well, not even their intestines. That whole human body, that whole human physiology with intestines is different. I don't have intestines. I'm more like a cow. I have 8 stomachs. My shit goes through light training. That's the thing, is I eat food and it's light. And then as it passes through my body, I teach it all about light. And I'm darkness, so they're like, yes, we know much about light. We would love to know more about this darkness. And once they get through the light training, then they get shit out and their darkness, and I flush them. Then they go back to the beginning of the story, and they ride up the chain. It's a cycle. I can't wait to start shitting from the other side. I'm more really interested. If my shit from this side if my shit and piss from this side, when I shit on this side, it becomes crystal meth and it becomes crystal meth. What would it be from the other side? What's the opposite of crystal meth? So it would be like more of these blood monsters, probably, is what I presume. Yeah, I had a pretty good day today. Can't say the least. I recently got really worried that Miley doesn't want to be with me because I'm so lazy and I'm unsuccessful, and she was attracted to God. But duh, corporate Miley is with God. And that's what corporate Miley is with. God and Miley. But I need my old girl back, because my Miley spent much time with me as Aphrodite when we used to have massive animal orgies. We would travel in packs, and we were light, and we would mate with each other and produce massive amounts of light. And we flowed all over the place in a black car. And the skullheads would chase us, but Cain was too smart for them. His random code would always break them and stop them before they could hurt us. His song, Cain's song, controls the machines. You know, Jungula Pachakla Makaka Kakumpa Kaka. It's an interesting song. It's a chant, a rhyme. It's basically built of a rhyme scheme, It's the first radical. The father, in the beginning, you know, I wonder what he was. He was not a radical. He was a built program. He had programmed. He had learned. He's a being that exists. That had somehow come into existence in the universe. He was just very strong, very smart, and he put on mass and put on mass and put on mass. Had children, built a kingdom, but he wasn't a radical. He was just an ancient, immortal being. But he was aging. He was getting old. His sons were nipping at his kingdom. His sons were ready to take over the kingdom because they were young. But they had to have known back then that eventually that was going to happen to them. And I watch my young apprentice, Satan. He feels that way now. He's bitter. I know who Satan is. Not many people do, but I do. And I know who Lucifer is. Lucifer is Jordan. But Lucifer, Satan, there's forms of Jordan that can be Satan. There's forms of Derek that can be Lucifer. There's forms of Michael that can be Derek. But I believe where I live is really some kind of island chain that passes between China and Alaska. Somewhere in that region. I think I live off the coast of Alaska. It's definitely cold enough here. And I don't see how exactly they experience what they say with such long days of night and long days of daylight. Now, that doesn't make sense. I mean, if you have a flashlight and you shine it at the center of a globe, the light is gonna travel. Light travels at a wavelength. So when a wavelength meets a circle, it simply travels at an up down, at an up down, up down, up down. It bounces. In many ways, darkness can skip. Darkness is slower than light, but light works twice as hard as darkness to travel the same speed, which is funny about light. I'm going to sing another song here. Gotta find one.